If you want to see what I picked up during the Sephora sale, then stick around. Hi there, it's Hélène and welcome back, or if it's your first time here, welcome to HMM Makeup or Makeup. I am pretty excited to talk about the products that I have picked up during the Sephora sale, and I'm going to expand my definition of the Sephora sale because before the 14th, there were a lot of really great sales on Sephora.com or Sephora.ca, whichever one you want to talk about. And because of that, I picked up some products that were on for half off. Well, I'm not going to wait until the Sephora sale to get 20% off when I can get half off on some pretty amazing palettes. So for me, the shopping started before the official 20% off and Rouge First Access. So it just made a whole lot of sense. And so I just want to show you the products that I did pick up both during the 40-50% off sale and also post, which means when the 14th rolled around and 20% off was available. And a lot of products were sale on the sale. So they were already discounted, and then on top of it, whatever tier discount you have access to was available afterwards, assuming which day you are eligible to get the benefit. So it's been a little bit interesting to navigate because there were some sales way before the official Sephora sale that popped up. And I have to say thank you to Julie, one of my dear subscribers, one of the earlier subscribers to my channel, letting me know that Nails Inc., a lot of Nails Inc. was on sale. And I appreciate the heads up she gave me because Nails Inc. went on super sale, and as a result I bought some sets. So since I started with Nails Inc., why don't I just talk about what it is that I picked up, and I'll just show you one specific item, and this is the 45-second top coat. So it's a very fast setting top coat. It is my favorite top coat so far of any top coat that I have tried. And it tends to be pricey, so it's usually $17 Canadian plus tax and all that good stuff. Well, with the sale, Nails Inc., this was down to $12, and then on top of that, I got the discount. So it was a real no-brainer, and I picked up two. And I thought, Hélène, what are you doing? Just pick up another 3 and just be done with it as far as what you need for the year. And it just made sense to me. It was marked down from $17 to $12 Canadian, and then the $12 Canadian getting 20% off. I felt really lucky as a Rouge and as a Canadian customer to be able to get a discount and then another discount applied. So this was great. You will see me in previous videos on this channel singing the praises of this one. I really do enjoy the 45-second top coat. It does give a very strong top coat, and it dries very quickly, and for someone who doesn't love to do her nails, it's really nice when the top coat dries quickly. So big fan of this one, and as I said, I picked up 5 before right at the beginning of the sale, I should say. It was discounted and then the 20% off on top of it. Love it. And I did also pick up 2 different sets from Nails Inc., and I'll have them on the screen here. It's already probably running for you. And 2 sets of colors that I thought were really nice. And I also picked up a terracotta that I thought was quite fetching, and just decided it was on a reduced price, and I thought, well, if somebody else doesn't like it, I do. So I did pick up that one as well, and that one, as at time of filming, is still on its way to me, so I can't show it to you. But it's on screen now. So you are able to see it. So that is it for nails. I do want to talk about a product that I picked up 2 of, and I do have the product here with me. And it is a targeted targeted dark spot serum from Sephora. And with the Sephora sale of 30% off on Sephora products, I was able to get 30% off on these 2 products, same product, but purchased 2 of them. I'll show you the inside. This is what it looks like. And I do hope that it works well because I did pick up 2 of them. And it is a fair amount of product. It's a total of 30 ml per. And it does suggest that 100% of people said that they found the dark spots less intense, and that 95% of people found fewer dark spots. And I have just a couple of issues right here. I don't know if you can see it right here. And I do find that dark spots, products that address dark spots do work for me. And I thought, well, I'm going to try this one from Sephora because with 30% off, what do I have to lose? And I just figured that it was a really great price, so why not get 2 of them at the same time and really test it out and see how my skin changes over time. Another product that I picked up that I would say familiar with because I have another kind of calligraphy pen from Shu Uemura. I decided to pick up a newer calligraphy pen, and they're different style, which I like because one style I will know is my brown liner and the other style is my black liner, so they'll be very easy for me to differentiate. And they use the same cartridge, which I'm really happy about. So here is the new one that I picked up, just the packaging if you want to see. And I'm going to open it up for you. And I'm really happy to have picked up a second calligraphy pen because the initial one that I have, that is my brown cartridge, did the same thing to me last time. It really gets stuck inside the packaging. There we go. I'm getting it out now. There. So the other one that I have is a blunt top like the bottom of this one. And so it will help me differentiate this one being the black and then the other one that is like this, both sides, as being the brown. But it's the top that really has me jazzed. So this is the tip for the 2 brushes that I have, the brown one that is already in my drawer and then this one that is going to be the black. And I have praised the value of the Shu Uemura pen. And so I'm very, very pleased to have it. And I just wanted to show you the cartridge, and I might as well put the cartridge in while on camera so that you can see what they look like. Okay, so here is the cartridge. It's quite tiny, and it's going to go into this pen. And I'm just going to, oh, that's not what I need here, Hélène. Just need to open this up. And then it has the attachment here for the cartridge. And all I need to do is press this into the cartridge to get it to snap in. So I'm just going to pay attention here. So I do it properly. And there we go. It just kind of snaps in and it is ready to use. So, and very often it requires it to be upside down to get the ink going. And all I need to do afterwards is just to screw it back in. And I'm having a problem. Uh-oh. The cartridge different? It helps if I have the right item to screw it back in. It's what's confusing me is that the old one, like I said, is this at the bottom. So I was just going by basically on automatic pilot. But this is indeed, the cartridge is inside the pen, and this will be the top, which is kind of nice because it can stay and keep this hold on the counter and always be at the ready. And I'm just really curious to see. Usually you have to play with the brush to get it to start dispensing. And I might not waste your time on camera here. Oh, I'm starting to see some product. Yeah, the product is starting to come out. I don't know if you can see the black there. Yeah. So it takes a little bit of time for the product to flow. So you lose a little bit of product right at the beginning because you're trying to get the product to flow. So this is how much I've wasted so far, which is not a huge amount. And the tip is now pretty much black. And I have been using a very, very similar, I would say identical tip in doing my eyeliner with the other calligraphy pen I have from Shu Uemura that looks exactly like that. The tip looks exactly the same. And I've been really happy with it. And I do love the fact that they are two different looking pens, and I will be able to tell which one's brown and which one's black without having to open it up to figure it out. So very happy with this purchase. And I would recommend it if you want to give it a go and see how this liner is compared to other liners you have in your collection. I'd recommend it. I like it. And it's also more environmentally friendly. Okay, another pen that I've been very excited about is this one. Do you already know what it is? If you know me, if you've been watching my channel for a while, you would know that I am a fan of Urban Decay. I have a lot of Urban Decay products, and one of the products from Urban Decay is the Freak color, which is a beautiful green color, very vibrant green color. And I have the Freak pencil, definitely. I enjoy the chartreuse looking packaging of the Freak mascara. And so I absolutely wanted to get this pen from the Urban Decay line because it is the Freak pen. I'm going to open up this package and show you the Freak pen. It is a really neat type of packaging. It looks really cool, and this is a way of holding the pen, so that's why there's this unusual aspect to the packaging here. So this is how you hold the pen, and this is what Freak looks like. Is that not a gorgeous color? I am going to be using a lot of this lime green pen, I can tell you, over the next number of weeks and months. So much so that I bet you'll get sick of seeing it. I love the color. I am planning on doing some graphic liner design underneath the lower lash line, on the upper lash line. I think I'm going to have a lot of fun. And I would suspect that I will be using this at Halloween. I can pretty much guarantee it. Lime green with a beautiful Halloween orange and some purple. I can have a really nice look. I am super jazzed about the design of this pen. I think that they did a good job. I really wanted a black one, a brown one, and this green one, but there's absolutely no way I could justify it. So I said, Hélène, okay, what is it that you would want as a special treat? And it's this liner, this color. And I'm looking forward to playing around with it and creating some edgier looks, and I think it'll be fun. I think it'll be a lot of fun. So far, I have no regrets in picking up this liner. I think they did a really good job, and kudos Urban Decay. I think you did a great job. Now, another lime green leaning product was this one, which was on super clearance, and it's the Ciaté London duochrome lip lacquer in, what's the name of this one? Oh, Aurora is the name of it. I had to look all over the package to figure it out. And I was really intrigued by this one. I'm just looking at it here. Hopefully it'll show up in the camera, or on camera. Do you see the lime green? The edgy lime green that's kind of streaking into the packaging? It's It's a liquid chrome for the lips, but it has a lime green effect to it. And there were a few of them that had that kind of lime green effect, but this is the only one that I found rather convincing. So it's just at the right angle where you can see the lime that comes out into the brown, and it looks really neat. And I wonder if it has to dry down a little bit to get the full effect. But I really enjoyed the look of it, and I don't mind it because it's the lime green color. I don't mind it if it is relative. Oh, there we go. If it's relatively subtle and you just catch it when your lips are at the right angle to be seen. I think it's just that little extra accent, little extra edge that makes this really exciting. There was also a purple one that they had on clearance, but this is the one where I felt like the shift was going to be both strong enough, but also subtle enough that I could get away with it on a day-to-day basis if I wanted to. I'm really, really into it. I guess I'll find out whether or not I'm wearing it. Here's another small package. Lots of good things in small packages in this video. And this is a Root Touch-Up pencil from Bumble and Bumble, I think. Yeah, Bumble and Bumble. It's called the BB Color Stick, and it is in brown. And it looks like this. And I had one from Rita Hazen. That is the last stick of this type that I had. And I ran out. I used up my Rita Hazen. I have just a little bit in a small sample container from Sephora that I depotted from the original stick that looks like this. It's just a kind of an aqua green stick as opposed to this black one. But I thought I would try Bumble and Bumble, and it is a lighter brown that I'm used to. But I do think, given my hair color, it's going to work. And yes, I would say definitely that it will work for me to just touch up the roots between hair colorings. And there seems to be a fair amount in here. It says 3.5 grams. I guess it's a weighted product because it feels quite heavy. I hope there's enough product in here to justify the price of over $30 Canadian. I'd better not be disappointed because this was not cheap. Luckily, I got it during the sale, but this was not cheap. I'm hoping, very much hoping, that it will work. And even though it's not inexpensive, if it does double the amount of time that I can go between root touch-ups, it will absolutely be worth it because my hairstylist is not an inexpensive hairstylist. And being able to cover my roots in between appointments enables me to space out my appointments more often than or longer than I could otherwise. And so I find a product like this indispensable in order to have me looking the way I want without breaking the bank. Now, another one that I have picked up, which is a product from Melt, it is the Supernatural Lash, and I just wanted to try another mascara, and this one is the Ultra Black Supernatural Lash Mascara, and it is red, but I think this was a limited edition color. Maybe I'm wrong. And it says Beyond Natural Thickness Ultra Black Mascara, and it is a weighted product, which is kind of neat. I do like that, the idea. I have not cracked this open. I have not looked at it at all, and it has a nice embossing on it. Now, this is one that I've actually had for a while, and I haven't opened up. I just threw this one in the haul because I hadn't talked about it yet. And from Melt Cosmetics, Ultra Black Supernatural Lash Mascara. Is there anything else to tell you? Not really. But again, nice weight to the component. And let's take a look at the brush. Oh yeah. Okay, that's a volumizing brush for sure. Oh, look at that. Looks a little edgy. Nice. I don't mind edgy brushes. If you know me, I love the Freak Mascara. which has the weirdest sci-fi looking brush ever. So I'm looking forward to trying this mascara, and obviously I've cracked it open, so it's going to be my next one. And yeah, I guess I will report back once I have an idea of what I think of it. Speaking of melt, I did pick up a couple of melt palettes, and I have a few melt palettes already in my collection. I have the Earth palette, those mini palettes that I thought were a complete ripoff. I have the Earth, the green one. And I also have the Impulsive palette, which is a weird stackable palette. I don't know if I still have it out. That is was the first melt palette that I picked up ever, that I thought was really quite worth it. I keep looking, thinking I have it out somewhere, but I don't. Anyway, so this is the first one I'm going to show you of the melt palettes that are coming into my collection. This is the Gemini II. I only picked up 2, and this is the Gemini II out of the box. And I do like the way the packaging works in melt. I do enjoy the way it's done, and I also enjoy the embossing on the shadows themselves. Now, I love lime green and khaki, and everything in this color story works for me. So when I saw this palette and I saw that it was on sale, I just jumped on it, and it was that was before the sale. But Melt, there was a discount on some Melt Cosmetics palettes, so I did pick this one up. And I also picked up one more that I will show you right away. So we talked the Gemini 2, and now we are going to talk 420. Now, I'm not big on marijuana in any way, shape, or form, but I do like the color story in this palette, and it's kind of a neat, quite a neat cover. Anyway, I won't blind you any further. And let's take a look at the inside. I do like the cover. It has that noisy aspect to it. And the color story, for someone who is tends to be autumn colors, this is a really nice color story for me. And I am sure that I can do some pretty awesome looks with this color story. And I definitely will combine the 420 with the Gemini 2 palette. I think that they would be quite complementary. And yeah, there's nothing in the color story of either one of those palettes that I don't like. So I think that I will be able to do some types of looks that I wouldn't be able to with just anything else in my collection. I think that there are some pretty unique colors in those 2 palettes, so I'm really looking forward to playing with them. And if there are some palettes that you own already that you love playing with and you have some combo suggestions, I am all ears. I would love to hear from you if you have some suggestions. Please, please, please send them my way. I would love to hear. Okay, let's do a little palette cleanser. We talked about a few palettes. I'm going to talk about this one. This is a little something that I picked up for 300 points at Sephora, and so it did not cost me any money, so to speak, but it was using some of my points. And I thought 300 points was a little steep, but I thought, I barely ever pick up anything from Charlotte Tilbury, so let me play with this mini. And it came with a magic serum packet. And what I purchased are these 2 little guys. So I have a little tiny magic cream, and what I intend to do is just use this and refill it with any whatever cream, face cream that I want to use. So that is with the little emblem on top. And then also which one is this one? Pillow Talk 2 in medium. And I do like these little guys for travel. And it's just enough to last, a week or 2 away. And the reason I would say a week or 2 is because these lipsticks from Charlotte Tilbury are quite hard, and very pigmented. So it doesn't take a lot to have full coverage of your lips, and they don't tend to wear off really quickly. So they stay on my lips a long time. And so this little guy will actually last quite a long time. So I'm pretty happy with having chosen to get these little guys, but really this is the whole reason that I picked up the set. What can I say? It's worth it in my eyes. And I didn't have to spend $40 for it, which is what it would cost in Canadian for a, I think it's 42 now or something, for a Charlotte Tilbury lipstick. Okay, now this product is far from new, but it is a product that I just kept dragging my feet on, and it is the Pat McGrath Mothership 7 Divine Rose, and I finally have it in my collection. I don't know why I just kept hemming and hawing on this palette, but I'm glad that I have it now. And it looks like this. I'll get the plastic off. It's always so satisfying. So I have not played with it, obviously. I love that. The black lacquer, it looks good. It's always overpriced. I will never say it's a good deal. But it is nice to do the reveal. So let me just open up this box. It's a very basic palette, but I do think that from a utilitarian perspective, it would be very easy to have this palette as a grab and go. I would not say that I am wowed by this palette, but it does have a few pretty interesting colors, and the number one in the palette for me is this guy right over here. It has an iridescence to it. So this one I'm pointing to right here. It has an iridescence to it that is striking. So it's almost like a cool whitish blue, a bluish white, with some peach and pink. So depending on how you look at it, you see some blue, bluish green, pink going toward the peach. It's a very interesting color. And then this one down here, so this is the one I was talking about just now. And then this one, I think you can see the shift a whole lot more on camera with this one, where it goes kind of from pink to gold to peach. Really interesting. So these two are definitely transformative shadows. And these, I would say, these 6 are quite utilitarian, and I do love an old rose and this kind of rosy toward the mauve kind of a color. I think they're beautiful. And this one is, I think it's going to be a workhorse. That looks like a beautiful, beautiful color, even though it's not one that I remembered from the palette. It just looks like it belongs. I'm very much looking forward to trying it, and truthfully, when I ended up looking at it, when I received it, I realized that there was a lot more to it when I can see it in person, as far as how beautiful it looks and how promising it is, compared to what was in my mind's eye just looking at it on camera, on video, basically, from another creator's perspective. I'm really excited about it, and part of what the excitement is that it does lean toward the cool tones, and I'm okay with that. I'm pretty happy with that. There's not a whole lot of warm in here, and that works just fine by me. I'm happy about it, and I'm looking forward to playing with it. And speaking of playing with it, I'm going to take the plastic off the mirror as well. That's always fun. Okay, so that is the introduction. I'm not going to swatch this palette. I just wanted to introduce it to you as far as another Pat McGrath palette coming into my collection. And I did drag my feet on this one, And I think that if you know my eyeshadow makeup style, my preferences, this is very, very tame. But I'm drawn to the color story in a way that I really didn't expect. I was hoping, and that was based on some reviews from other creators regarding this palette, because for a while I've been kind of going meh, but I like the color story more than I thought. And truly seeing it in person, it made a big difference. It truly did. I really didn't think that I would like it as much as I do. So that's a good thing. I like it more than I thought I would. So that's even better. And I think that this is a great companion palette to maybe one of the more edgy type of Pat McGrath 10 pans that I have in my collection. So I'm looking forward to comparing it to others in my collection and to doing some looks for you. Now, speaking of palettes, I have a lot still to talk to you about. One that is a one-off that I will show you right now is the Supreme Mauves by Artiste Couture. And this is my second look using this palette. And I'm very happy to have done a second look already with the palette. I really like the way this turned out. I really enjoyed what the other look looked like. If you look at my previous video, the previous video to this one, you will definitely see the other look that I have created with this palette. And I like the sleek nature of the palette, and I really am enjoying the color story. And you can see on the channel, it's either up now or it is going up very shortly. Swatches of this palette are going to be available if they are not already. It's a pretty utilitarian palette, but there are 5 very impactful, shiny, beautiful shadows in the palette. And so I think that there are enough. 5 out of 12 is not a little bit, right? It's almost half. There are quite a few impactful shadows. 5 out of 12, as I said, that's not a bad number. And so I feel like even though it's a small palette, very sleek, that it can pack a punch despite its small size. I'm kind of impressed by it, actually. And I'm excited to use it. And I did not think that that was going to happen with this palette, which is why I kind of hung on to it, wasn't really doing anything video-wise with this palette, but I think that's going to change. Well, it has changed because I've done 2 looks now that I've shown on camera using it. So yeah, let me know what you think if you've taken a look at those couple of videos. Do you like this palette, or is it a hard pass for you? I'm curious. Now we're getting into the belle of the ball, which is Natasha Denona. I did pick up quite a few palettes during the long sale of Natasha Denona palettes as far as I saw at Sephora Canada. Let's start with a little palette cleanser, and that is a couple of minis that I picked up. This one is the mini Zendo palette, and I do have the Zendo palette. This is the mini extra that is available to supplement the Zendo palette. If you haven't seen the Zendo palette video, I will put it right there. It might surprise you. And then this other one is the little mini love palette, and it looks like this. And I'm going to open it up. I do love the deep matte in the center. I think that they did a great job in selecting that one for this look, because all of a sudden you have an automatic sultry option, which I am very happy about. So I haven't played with them. I wanted to show them to you before I started playing with them. So we've got these 2 minis. So speaking of Zendo, I might as well show you the Zendo palette. And it took a beating. This is a palette I had to repress because it arrived to me broken. This is what it looks like. And I have done a few looks with it so far. But if you watch my swatches video, and see it through to the end, you will see exactly what I think of the palette. It's definitely not my favorite Natasha Denona palette. I'll just say it as is. Color Story doesn't rock my boat. And for more, take a look at that video. Now, for the retro palette, I do have a few of them from Natasha Denona. So here we have the Retro Glam palette, which has quite a bit of green in it. Green and some bluish greens. And I do enjoy from Natasha Denona, the palettes have the holes on the back, so it's very easy to move things around and move things from palette to palette if you want to customize your palettes. So this is the first of the two retro palettes I want to show you. And here is the other one, and this one is more of a the classic romantic looking palette, and I have not played with it yet. And I do want to get my hands in this palette because it just has a color story that really speaks to me. And again, having the holes in the back to be able to remove shadows very easily. And we also have the My Dream palette from Natasha Denona. And this one also speaks to me in a lot. And part of it is these three that make me just love the color story because I am quite partial to burgundies, fuchsias, and eggplant type of colors. It's definitely a deeper version of the previous one that you saw. Yeah, let me just show you both side by side so you can take a look, just to get a feel for it. So the one here is the retro, and then there's the other one, which is My Dream palette. They're both nice. I don't think that everybody needs to have both, but I do like the differences in them. If I were to choose which one that I would keep, I think that I would probably go for this one because I do have a lot of golds in various palettes, and I don't feel like I would need extra golds. So this one, if there were only one, if I had to choose just one, I would go with the regular retro and skip on the My Dream palette. But the My Dream palette at the same time is meant to be a one and done palette. So I can see why Natasha Denona had chosen to have a palette with more variety. It makes sense. And since we're looking at romantic type palettes, I thought I would just show you the Love palette at the same time here. Is one that I've already shown and swatched on my channel. But I just thought I would show you because I think you'll see some of the color theme is a bit redundant with some of the other ones I showed you already. And so sometimes there's overlap in the palettes, although she's quite consistent with the way she manages her packaging. And this one, I really wasn't sure if I would get, but I felt like it was very different from other palettes from Natasha Denona in this kind of 15 pan style. And I'm not sure how much I'm going to use these pastels, but it's really one color, one shadow that sold it for me, and it's this chartreuse right here. It's my favorite color, and so she got me. She got me because of that one pan. And I do think that these go well together. These go well together. I think I can use this shadow quite a bit. But really, it's the one shadow that made me purchase this palette. And I'm a little embarrassed to say that that's the case, but I would be lying if I didn't fess up to why I picked up the pastel palette. I didn't feel drawn to this one at all, but I think as a complementary palette, it's actually going to have a good solid place in my Natasha Denona collection and in my palette collection overall. So I'm not mad at it, but it definitely is not in my top 3 of the Natasha Denona palettes. Definitely not in my top 3. And now I have a couple of larger Natasha Denona palettes to show you. Another one that I have in this style is the Lila palette. I won't take that one out. It's a lot of people have it, and it is very much in the same style. And so here is the Sunset palette. This one I picked up not that long ago, but it has been a while. And I'm into the color story in that I wanted to have that red, and I do like this whole column right here. And when it comes to the 15 shadows that I have here in this palette, I'm going to reserve commentary on what I think of the shadows and the color story, because I really feel like on this one, I need to play with the textures and the colors, because I really don't have a very strong sense of this palette at all. I see some natural combos. I'm very drawn to these three mattes down here, but I really don't have a feel for this palette. This palette to me is a bit of an enigma that is definitely worth solving for my purposes, but I really don't know what I think of it. It did come on for a pretty decent discount, and so I decided to complement my Natasha Denona collection with this Sunset palette, but it's more out of curiosity than out of a feeling of having a hole in my collection that this would fill. I guess I'm just curious about why this exists, and I don't have the answer, which is why I want to explore it. I'm just curious. What can I say? Now this one, because of my friend Steph, I will put Steph's picture right there. Because of Steph, I feel like I know a whole lot about this palette, because she has featured it on her channel a lot. And that is the Gold palette. This is the last one I have to show you. And I am pretty happy. It is much more beautiful in person than I expected. And when I opened up the packaging, I kind of had a jaw drop moment. It is far more beautiful than I expected. It's gorgeous. It's absolutely gorgeous. And I can now understand why Steph is so smitten with the color story. I wouldn't be surprised if she's already purchased another one. I think she might have, actually. She just dug into this palette and used this palette, her version obviously, to the maximum. I've never seen someone so enamored with a palette as she has been with the Natasha Denona Gold. And so because of that, I really want to use it. And I have to say that the color or shadow in this whole palette, the one that I absolutely know I will finish, is this one. And it's because it has a gold to green shift with a kind of a terracotta and rosy base. This is going to be gorgeous on my eyes. I have no doubt whatsoever, and I'm probably going to hit pan on that eyeshadow. It's gorgeous. I am such a sucker for lime green. To put it on the inner to 2/3 of the lid with a beautiful rich brown on the outer lid, sign me up. I'm going to love that color. There's no question. And there are 6 beautiful mattes in here. Some nice satin shades, metallic. It's a very, very nice palette. I am very pleased to have picked it up. Thank you, Steph, for gushing about this palette so much, because seeing it in person, I realized just how beautiful it is. And I'm just, yeah, I'm kind of gaga for it. So I'm looking forward to doing some looks for you. And I almost missed a palette, and this is the Triochrome from Natasha Denona as well. And let me show you the color story. I have not touched it, but the Chartreuse leaning colors are definitely of interest to me, and I cannot wait to get my fingers into this one as well. I'm going to be very, very busy over the next number of months, and I have no regrets. Again, because the Natasha Denona palettes were at least 30% off, if not more, I feel like I've added to my collection, but I've added to my collection in a very reasonable way. A Melt as well was on sale. Again, I added to my collection in a very reasonable and opportunistic way. And so I'm really happy about what I've done. And I'm looking forward to doing a whole lot of exploring into these palettes and getting a good feel for different color stories, different finishes, different formulas, and coming back to you with some thoughts. And obviously you're going to see a bunch of different looks showing up on my eyes, regardless of the topic of the day for a given video. So that is it from me. Let's see how many palettes here. 2, 3, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Am I missing anything? 13, 14 palettes that I have introduced, I believe, in this video. So there's quite a bit. Let me just do a recount. 22 palettes that I introduced in this video, so it's quite a bit. I think it's enough, and yeah, it will keep me busy for a long time. If you have requests for specific palettes to be first up, then let me know in the comments. I will keep your preferences in mind as I determine which palettes are featured first. That's it from me. Thank you so much for watching. I appreciate it every single time, and I look forward to seeing you in the next video. But for now, as always, take care.